Police block gates to Bichi Emir's palace as state government accuses FG, federal government, of orchestrating ugly incident. Fire raises 30 shops, destroys property worth millions in Nasarawa. Speculation of economic challenges affects Nollywood Nigeria's film industry. On the foreign scene, 17 million Ghanaians set to elect new president in 2024 elections. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Police have blocked the gates leading to Bichi Emir's palace ahead of the arrival of the newly appointed district head. The police also asked villagers and ward heads who had gathered to welcome the new royal father to leave the palace. Chairman of Bichi Local Government Council, Hamza Mayfata, has asked residents to remain peaceful and be law-abiding. The chairman announced a shift in the date of the gathering scheduled for Friday by the Kano Emirate. A statement signed by the local government information officer, Tesu Jibo Dawenu, said the area remained calm as people went about their normal business activities. Armed police and DSS operatives on Friday blocked entrance to Kano Emir Palace, creating a tense atmosphere at the palace. Reports say the emir was built to grant audience to some economists and the controversy generated by the tax reform bills before the National Assembly. The emir was also scheduled to accompany his newly appointed district head, Munir Senusi, to Bichi. The security operatives sealed the entrance to the palace even when the emir was holding court at the outer palace. And Mr. Lucy later led Friday congressional prayer at the Kano Central Mosque outside the palace. The Secretary of State Government, Abdullahi Bichi, who reacted angrily to the blockade of the palace, pointed accusing fingers at the federal government. Joining us to further discuss the situation in Kano is Ahmed Dati. Good evening, Ahmed Dati. We'll circle back to that conversation. Now, an inferno has raised Ahmed Dati, could you hear us? Ahmed Dati, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the News Hour tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Chairman. How today?
It's going okay. So what can you tell us about the developments in Kano State? What's happening?
Okay, at the moment, after the blockade, the emir could not go to Bichi. Was the plan. He led the Friday congregation, like you just mentioned, where he delivered a sermon asking people to remain calm and be patient, and asked people also to pray against what we call enemies of Kano, whom we accuse of orchestrating the blockade in the first place. So, as it is now, the emir is still in Kano, in the palace. He couldn't go to Bichi, but the security operatives remain at the palace at the moment.
Okay, so has there been any information from the security operatives, that is either the police or the DSS, as to why they are actually blocking the gate of the emir's palace?
Well, there has not been any a statement from the police or the SSS regarding the blockade. I personally tried to reach the police spokesperson, SC Haruna Jigawa, on this, but it was unsuccessful. But I think the action of the police probably may have to do probably with the Bichi town itself, where some news to the street chanting solidarity songs and all that. There will probably be a clash, between supporters of the remote area and the new district head. That was informed the police blockade in Bichi, at least.
Well, if that was the reason, I would expect that there will be some information from them on their end stating why they were doing what they were doing. But right now, what is this situation? How is it affecting the mood in Kano State?
People are going about their normal businesses, like I said. Only that the armed security men are at the palace, keeping vigil. And the emir remained also in the palace. He couldn't go to Biti.
All right, thank you so much, Ahmed Dati, for that update on the situation in Kano State. Hopefully the security operatives will tell us the reason behind that blockade.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to Nasarawa, where an inferno has razed tailoring shops at the New Modern Market in Lafia, the state capital, destroying goods worth millions of naira. Confirming the ugly development to Trust TV, builder Omugos Joshua, the director of fire service in Nasarawa State, said he got a distress call at about 9:30 p.m. on Thursday about the incident and quickly mobilizes men to arrest the fire. Umar Mohammed has more in this report.
Trust TV correspondent who visited the scene of the incident learned that the fire started on Thursday night at about 9:30 p.m. and lasted till early hours of Friday. It was, however, difficult for the personnel of the Nasarawa State Fire Service to put out the fire owing to the heaps of refuse dumps in and around the marketplace. The fire continued till Friday morning before it was finally put out at about 9:15 a.m.
You cannot say our mate didn't come in time. We rely on either running call or first call, phone call. If without call, we cannot give you have magic that will detect that there is fire street or this place. And why about 4 trucks for mobility to this very scene? Why will I say there is no fire, there is no water? If there is no water, if there is no water, then how can we put out the fire?
Our correspondent reports that traders whose shops were not affected by the fire were seen removing their goods from the building.
90% cause of this fire outbreak is this dustbin, because normally government are supposed to take away this dustbin after a week, after week, but they usually leave it. Sometimes it takes 2 months, 3 months before they come and pack it, and all the traders in the market are paying money for this, are paying tax for the taking away the refuse, but they don't do that. I don't know whether the problem is from the market management or if it's from the market officials itself.
As we are in the house, we make a call unexpected. People call us, say the fire will start in our market. We are thinking something like it's a small something. At the time we can't see that something is not a small actually, and the thing will spill us. And we are used to tell every one of our brother here, we thank God seriously. Actually, the people
thank you very much.
Urgent. That is the reason. But I feel something that I want to say we thank God because we will not lose any one of our brother, but we lost some of our properties, our shops, our brother's son, and both of some people there. Friends is our friends. Some they are used to come. But the thing actually is no good to us.
I'm one of people that are having shop here, and I lost about 5 million, including cash and my goods inside the shop. Feeling unhappy, but I'm grateful because anything that comes, whether good or bad, are from God.
Trust TV also observed that the intense heat of the raging inferno repeatedly drove back the firefighters and delayed their efforts in bringing the situation under control.
Over in Jalingo, gunmen have reportedly killed the businesswoman in the Mayodesa area of the state capital of Taraba. The incident occurred at about midnight on Friday, 6 December 2024. The Taraba State Police Command Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Usman, who confirmed the incident, said when the gunmen invaded the compound, they used machetes to break the windows of the house. The second incident, according to the police spokesman, occurred in the area of Jalingo, where the gunmen opened fire on the clergyman and left without picking anything from his house or kidnapping other occupants. This man revealed that the two victims passed on while being attended to in their hospital beds. Over in Kaduna State, operatives of the State Police Command have arrested two notorious gun runners in the Zaria local government area of the state. The command's public relations officer, Messi Hassan, disclosed this in a statement on Friday. He said the suspects were arrested on Thursday by officers from 47 Police Mobile Force Squadron, Zaria, during a routine vehicular patrol along the Zaria-Jos Road. The police spokesman said that the suspects, identified as Zubair Musa and Nasiru Saidu, who are both natives of Kankara local government area of Katsina State, were found in possession of a bag containing 8 locally made pump-action guns, 1 locally made pistol, and 65 live cartridges. Hassan further disclosed that preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects were involved in the illegal trafficking of firearms, noting that the suspects are currently cooperating with the police to aid in the apprehension of their accomplices and to uncover the full extent of the gun-running network within Kaduna State. Still in security matters, over in Rivers State, operatives of the police command have neutralized a notorious leader of a cult group, Ikem Vanguard, who is popularly known as General Two-Man, from Ogbolo community in Awada West local government area in the state. The deceased was said to be a leader of the Greenlander cult group and responsible for a series of crimes in Awada East and Awada West local government areas. There's more in this report. The Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Mustafa Bala, while parading his corpse before journalists in Port Harcourt, said he was killed during an intelligence-led operation which targeted the deceased while attempting to carry out another kidnapping. He said some of his gang members managed to escape with injuries, adding that efforts are underway to apprehend them.
According to preliminary investigations, since the death of Tubaba, have been mounting technical intelligence on his gang members. Therefore, following this preliminary investigation, Ikem Vanguard was responsible for serial heinous crimes within that area. And within the period of 2023-2024, the same suspect has committed series of violent crimes, which includes, but not limited to, the killing of a Bolt driver.
Speaking on the security measures put in place ahead of Yuletide season and after, Bala emphasized that the command is committed to protecting lives and property and will continue working to dismantle criminal networks in the state.
One of the efforts we put in place to proactively secure the state is confident building patrol. We have initiated a convoy patrol throughout the night till after the new year to ensure that people sleep with their 2 eyes closed. This convoy patrol involving all the tactical teams we have in River State are going around 24/7 to all the nook and cranny, and they have been combing all the criminal hideouts, raiding the criminal dens, keep the criminal at bay, and ensure that people go home and sleep with their 2 eyes closed.
The police boss also reacted to the allegation that police officers were preventing traders at the Oginiagba market land issues.
If a matter is subsisting in court, that question can be channeled to the court to answer. There's a pending case in court between the disputants and claimants. It's a claimant and disputant over that land, and whatever you see is as a result of court action. So if there's any aggrieved party In that case, they should approach court for redress.
Items recovered from the deceased includes 2 AK-47 rifles, 5 magazines and 22 rounds of live ammunition. Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved a salary increment for members of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, disclosed this on Friday in a statement by the ministry spokesperson, Henshaw Ogubike. According to the statement, the government also approved the payment of 3-month salary arrears and released funds to clear outstanding pensions and entitlements owed retired military personnel. The minister confirmed that alerts for the 3-month salary increase have begun reaching military personnel, signaling a significant moral boost for the armed forces. He lauded Tinubu's unwavering commitment to both serving and retired members of the military, emphasizing that addressing pension arrears for retirees remains a priority. Over in Borno State, Governor Babagana Zulum has raised the alarm that Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters who attacked Chad have relocated to Borno State. He disclosed this during the first operational visit of the Chief of Army Staff to Maiduguri. Trust TV's Beatrice Kuruzi has more.
At 5:30 p.m., the 24th Chief of Army Staff's jet landed on the Air Force Base for an operational tour in Borno State. The Borno State Government House was the first port of call. The Army Chief wants support from the state government as he re-strategizes on ways to end the prolonged Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region.
My instinct is to come to beg more for your support as the governor, and also to impress the people that I think it's high time to stop the whole thing. Because we can't continue to be all that same cause. We've been fighting this insecurity for the past 15 years. And I think it's time for us to put an end to it.
Governor Zulum, in his response, urged the Army Chief to strengthen the resilience of frontline troops and appealed for support to resettle displaced communities, saying it will create employment and boost agricultural activities. Zulum further appealed for the establishment of brigades and battalion posts in affected communities, revealing that Boko Haram terrorists have relocated from Chad to Borno State. He decried the absence of human population in 3 local governments of Guzamala, Abadam, and some parts of Marte community.
The entire shores of the Lake Chad has become deserted. Nobody was coming. And the area has become a safe haven for ISWAP and Boko Haram members. There is no way we shall degrade them because nobody was there, they are fishing there. It was their economic hub. I want you to encourage your people so that we shall resettle back our communities. Once they are resettled back, they will earn their means of livelihood by themselves. They'll get money. All these youths will be employed. Go to Baga and see. Baga, Cross, and Kukawa is providing employment opportunity to not less than 50,000 youths.
The Chief of Army Staff for the next few days will embark on operational tour to some military formations outside and within the state. Beatrice Kuruzi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Still in the south, over in Imo State, some mobile police officers have been arrested for invading a court premises to arrest a suspect. Confirming the incident to newsmen, the command spokesperson, Henry Okoye, said the situation has been addressed and is now under control. He added that the mobile officers involved have been arrested for allegedly entering Orogwe customary court premises to effect an arrest without due recourse to the court process. Okoye said the officers will face trial, while appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken against them. He maintained that the Imo State Police Command remained committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring that orderliness is maintained at court premises for the effective administration of justice.
A police officer entered inside the court while the court is sitting to arrest a suspect. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Look at him, he's trying to fight us, but we are videoing him. Remove that glasses. Remove that glasses. Let's see his face. What do you know him? He said he's a a police officer, I want to know him. Without ID card, without introduction, you just enter the court. Could you imagine that? This person should be arrested. He has no right. He has no. The court should sentence this man. Sentence him. You're not going anywhere. You can't do that.
The need for security agencies to upscale the skills of their personnel in order to meet up with emerging security threats has again been emphasized. Speaking with some security personnel in Lagos, Trust TV's Victoria Tokolo reports that efforts have been intensified to tackle the menace of insecurity and vandalism of national infrastructure. Her report is presented from our studio.
Over time, the issue of security has been that of all stakeholders, as the government alone cannot effectively secure lives and properties. But with the rise in cases of vandalism and other security challenges, stakeholders believe that the skills of personnel of security agencies need to be upskilled to enable them catch up with emerging security threats. This upscaling is even more needed within the rank and file of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, which is critical in protecting national infrastructure.
We did not give room for them to vandalize. Are you getting it? We conduct intelligence gathering, and we are working with various communities to give us information. So before they will be able to carry out any act of vandalization, we are always there ahead of them. So we have developed a strategy to mitigate the possibility for them to be able to have access to some of these major critical national assets.
We have the anti-vandal unit of the Lagos State Police Command. The Civil Defense too has it, and we work closely together. And it's also important to carry members of the communities along, and they have been cooperating so well with security agencies. So, like I said, it's not a big problem, but for the little areas where we have pockets of vandalism, it's something we are tackling headlong.
My work for people is to ensure that they don't vandalize. These are critical assets that give supply to community what they want to see. They want to say, like, once you vandalize this thing, there won't be light and people will agitate. But the government is doing a lot in ensuring that there is power. When this power comes, so let's talk to the younger ones. Let's talk to these scavengers not to touch this critical asset. Once they vandalize, there will be supplies. Before you know, there will be protests.
The government should extend their teaching to schools. Our young children who involve in vandalizing government properties should be educated. They should educate them even up to primary schools. They should put it as part of their subjects. You know, I don't know how they are going to form it, but the children should be taught early enough, letting them know that what belongs to the society belongs to us. That when they vandalize what they term to be owned by the government, they are equally destroying their future.
To address the issue of insecurity and vandalization in the country, stakeholders are advocating effective national orientation targeted at youths and patients.
Now to more stories. Speculation is rife that streaming giant Netflix may exit Nigeria, citing economic challenges. Now, while the company insists it hasn't abandoned its investment in Nigerian movies, many fear it's only a matter of time before economic pressures forces its hand. Chamudabang reports.
The challenges with Netflix come 7 months after the exit of Amazon Prime Videos, who made the decision to downsize its African investments and focus on European originals. The contributions of foreign platforms like Netflix, Showmax and Amazon Prime have significantly improved the Nigerian film industry, as the film and music industry raked in $197.6 million within the first quarter of 2024. Nollywood, which once was known for low-budget productions, is now being watched worldwide for its captivating storylines, giving Nigerian actors, directors and producers a fighting chance in the international film market.
So at some point they decided, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the plug on all the commitments that we've made for original Netflix productions, which is completely different from when you do a license deal. Now the license deal is when you make your own film and an aggregator or a distributor takes it to Netflix. They look at it and they pay you money and they put it on their platform for a period of time. That is different. When they say they're going to take an original from you, is that you made the film, it meets their original standards, and then they outrightly pay you for it, and then title it a Netflix original.
With the fluctuations in the dollar rate coupled with the waning strength of the naira, subscriptions to live streaming apps and patronage at cinemas have significantly reduced, as it is now seen as a luxury which will always be trumped by the people's need to survive.
So one of the biggest problems that I have when we always say government should intervene in the economy, in the industry, I think that government, first thing that comes to their mind is give them money. And to be honest, while that is very good, that is really not what we're saying. If we're saying government should intervene, government should be able to put in place policies and things that would easily empower people to have purchasing power. So you have money to eat and you can go entertain yourself.
According to the Ministry of Arts and Culture and Creative Economy, Nigeria's creative industry contributes $5.6 billion to the nation's GDP. However, with foreign investors closing up shop despite the federal government's claims that FDI has improved, Nigeria's goal for the sector to contribute up to $100 billion by 2030 stands threatened by the poor state of the economy.
No, for any reason, we should not take anything lightly. The current president has a huge ambition. He wants Nigeria to be a $1 trillion economy. And that means every sector of the economy is very important because different sectors contribute into building the huge economy that we all aspire to. And Nollywood is important. The production of films, music and so on, arts, entertainment and so on, they're all very important. So everything should be done to spur growth.
The absence of sufficient financing and infrastructure is one of the main obstacles holding Nigeria's film industry from its potential growth. Production quality may suffer from a lack of access to post-production facilities, appropriate filming sites, and contemporary technology. According to Watia, there is a need for the federal government to fully commit to its creative sector, not solely through financing, but also through tax breaks, insurance designed for creatives, as well as grants and programs to boost the creative. The absence of sufficient financing and infrastructure is one of the main obstacles holding Nigeria's film industry from its potential growth. Production quality may suffer from a lack of access to post-production facilities, appropriate filming sites, and contemporary technology. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, academic unions in the University of Lagos have joined the International School in the institution to advocate the school's recognition. The ongoing battle for recognition and fair treatment of tutors in ISL, according to stakeholders, is a reflection of the broader systemic issues facing Nigeria's educational sector that will need to be addressed. Here's more.
Tutors at the International School in the University of Lagos, despite their long-standing efforts for equity, have been excluded from government bureaus and denied the rights and allowances given to their colleagues within the university. Their struggle, which includes years of legal battles and persistent appeals, continues as they seek equal treatment within the institution. As the protest continues, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian University, SANU, has taken the lead in advocating on behalf of the ISL tutors. The primary demands of the tutors include the restoration of withheld salaries and the payment of outstanding allowances. However, rather than addressing these concerns, the university management, through the ISL Management Board, opted to implement a 100,000 naira per term fee increase across all students, sparking widespread outrage. The unions are now more determined than ever to secure the tutors' rightful place as council staff and to ensure they receive the allowances and benefits due to senior university staff.
If there are issues between University of Lagos and federal government on ISA, the tutors should not be the ones to suffer. The tutors now are being used as scapegoats between the federal government and management of university, because the money that has been generated from ISL has not been remitted to federal government. That is the more reason why federal government insisted that they will no longer finance ISS.
We are denying our rights due to us as council staff. Even as we speak today, the margin between what we take home and what we should take home is about 108,000 naira in a time like this when things are hard. So all the measures taken by government to make sure that the impact of the economic hardship is cushioned, we don't have access to those. And then some of us are already hospitalized, some have died. So it's really a big problem. And then that is why having a contact with the pro-chancellor today is a great thing, because we know that being the highest organ of management or governance in the university, if the matter should get to them, they will have a way of going around it and solving it.
Wole Olanipekun San, chairman of the board of the governing council of UNILAG, reassured the tutors that their concerns are being actively considered. He emphasized the council's commitment to finding a resolution that takes into account the interests of all parties involved.
The interests of everybody, I want to assure you that the council has not forgotten you. I want to assure you that university management has not forgotten you. And I will recall also that the Vice Chancellor has been reminding me constantly about your position, about your presentation to the university management. I want to please plead with you. You have done well.
Their struggle serves as a poignant reminder of the challenges facing educators in Nigeria's public institutions and the ongoing need for systematic reform within the country's educational system.
The Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has presented a budget proposal of 689.3 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. Now, tagged the budget of innovation and transformation for Greater Jigawa. The governor described the proposal as a strategic plan to sustain and enhance the development trajectory of his administration. Here's more.
The 2025 budget is a significant increase, 82% higher than the 383.55 billion naira allocated for the 2024 fiscal year. The budget comprises 149.75 billion naira, 21.4% for recurrent expenditures, and 536.75 billion naira, 77% for capital expenditures, reflecting the administration's focus on long-term developmental projects. It is derived from the State 2025 to 2027 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, and will be financed through statutory allocations from the federal account, other federal transfers, internally generated revenue, and an open balance of 100 million naira. Governor Namadi emphasized the focus on critical areas to ensure inclusive and human-centered economic growth. Key allocations include agriculture, 136 billion naira to sustain efforts toward achieving food security, infrastructure, 148.1 billion naira for critical infrastructure development, education, 120 billion naira to improve access to quality education and health, 40.1 billion to enhance healthcare services.
We have chartered for the state through the implementation of the 2024 budget, based on consolidated revenue and expenditure estimate derived from the 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework, I will be presenting to the Honorable House a bill to appropriate the sum of 698 billion 300 million naira for the services of the Jigawa State government during the 2025 fiscal year. This is about 82% higher than the total appropriation in the 2024 fiscal year, which was 383.5 billion. While this may be seen as ambitious, especially when considered relative to the 2024 appropriation.
So our forecast is we will achieve 110% revenues this year, meaning that we have even surpassed what we forecasted. So the budget was really based on realities on ground, and it represents about 77% of the budget as capital expenditures, meaning that it is only about 23% of the budget that is personnel and other recurrent costs.
Commending the administration's achievement of a 97% budget execution rate in 2024, the Speaker of the Jigawa State House of Assembly, Haruna Aliu Dangayatin, pledged to facilitate the swift passage of the appropriation bill to ensure its timely implementation.
His administration's top-point agenda has been instrumental in addressing the multifaceted challenges our state faces and has laid a solid foundation for sustainable development. This has brought for us monumental step forward in our collective effort to see a better future for our people in this promising journey that is fast yielding results in several aspects of our lives through mass employment of our youths into several jobs and crafts.
The ambitious 2025 budget underscores Governor Namadi's commitment to innovation and transformation, aiming to position Jigawa State as a model of sustainable development in Nigeria.
As more reactions continue to trail the 4 tax reform bills, residents of Lagos have called for caution to protect small businesses in the country. The proposed legislation, which promises to reshape Nigeria's revenue system, emphasizing corporate compliance, increased productivity and economic growth, has sparked divisions among different groups across the country. Here's the report.
As Nigeria faces economic challenges and widespread poverty, the proposed tax reform bill has continued to spark debates. Advocates praise it as a step towards sustainable national development, while critics caution against its potential strain on small businesses. Comrade Duke Alamboye, the president of the National Youth Organization, has weighed in on the contentious bill, outlining both its potential benefits and challenges.
They've also helped the GDP, the revenue, national revenue of the country to increase, and so therefore they are coming to get their decision. So I want to look at this bill, the effect, the good effect, the positivity of this bill is far more than, I understand the burden the bill is going to place on small, medium scales businesses. But as you grow, we have advised that palliatives should be like grants. Government should take grants serious so that these bills will not totally affect the medium, small and medium scale business people in the country. So I think holistically, if you look at the bill, it's sound and it's good for our country.
Fatima Ismail, the National Director of the Nigerian Youth Organization, emphasized the critical role state governments play in eradicating poverty. She urged governors to focus on grassroots economic development rather than relying solely on federal allocations.
We are not supposed to be in hunger in the country, and I feel is the state governors downwards that will help us to eradicate this hunger and the excessive poverty that we're facing, and about the harsh economy, the whole world is facing it, the whole world is in recession.
In Lagos, residents urged the government to redirect its focus, emphasizing that priority should be on creating policies that enhance national growth rather than implementing measures that stifle small businesses.
Should not give any tax for all the people that are selling something small things. It's not okay at all. They should just look onto them. What can make them to be, make this nation to be easy for everybody to live in a better life, not the one that they as many people right now, many people have gone because they cannot survive it. So many people, so many souls have lost due to the hardships. So they should not think of anything tax for people that are selling things, small things. But in their own area that they have big company, they can do that too. They can do that.
The many voices of ordinary Nigerians expressing reservation with the bills highlights the need for a fair and balanced system. They urge policymakers to reconsider tax structures to protect the vulnerable while fostering economic development.
In a bid to reduce the mortality rate of women in the north-central geopolitical zone of the country, the federal government has commenced a vaccination exercise of young girls between the ages of 9 and 14 in secondary schools across the region against the human papillomavirus, which is responsible for cervical cancer in women. Human papillomavirus, which has led to the untimely death of many Nigerian women, is the most common viral infection of the reproductive tract, mainly transmitted through sexual contact, with most people getting infected with HPV shortly after the onset of sexual activity. Speaking at the HPV regional vaccination flag of exercise in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital on Friday, the Director General of the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment, Professor Usman Malami Aliyu, said the aim of the exercise was to completely eradicate cervical cancer in the north-central region and the country at large. The DG was represented by the Senior Scientific Officer of NICRAT, Musa Mitu Terere, expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for his efforts to put an end to the mortality rate of young girls and women caused by HPV in the region, while noting that arrangements had been concluded to escalate the vaccination exercise to religious centers and marketplaces in the coming weeks. The NICRAT Director General commended the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency for its massive support thus far in ensuring the success of the vaccination program in the country. Let's get to Ghana, where as the country approaches its highly anticipated 2024 general elections, the atmosphere across the country is charged with excitement and anticipation. Scheduled for December 7th, these year's elections are set to shape the nation's future as citizens prepare to elect a new president and members of parliament. The Electoral Commission chairperson, Jean Mensa, who confirmed that preparations are in full swing, announced that over 18 million registered voters are expected to participate in the polls. Here's the report. During a press briefing in Accra, the Electoral Commission reassured Ghanaians of its commitment to transparency and integrity, while urging citizens to participate actively and peacefully. The contest for the presidency has become a two-horse race between the ruling New Patriotic Party, NPP, and the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC. The NPP's flag bearer, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, is running on the platform of economic recovery and digital transformation. Speaking at a campaign rally in Kumasi, he highlighted the government's successes, including infrastructure projects and the expansion of digital payment systems. Meanwhile, former President John Dramani Mahama, the NDC's candidate, has criticized the current administration for the economic hardships faced by citizens. On his tour of the northern regions, Mahama vowed to implement policies to reduce youth unemployment and strengthen local industries if elected. Smaller parties such as the Convention People's Party (CPP) and the People's National Convention (NPC) are also campaigning, though their influence remains limited compared to the NPP and NDC. Modisanda, a Ghana-based journalist, gives an overview of how elections in Ghana work.
Now, in Ghana, what happens is that a few days to the main election, there's what we call special voting, which happens this year, it happened on 2nd December. Now, the special voting is a day where officers of the Electoral Commission who will be supervising the election, members of the Ghana Armed Forces, police, immigration service, fire service, all those who play roles in the election, they vote, including journalists. Unfortunately, this time around, there have been a few issues with the Electoral Commission, so not many journalists managed to vote. And my pinky has no indelible ink, which means I have not voted. So I'll be voting alongside everybody else on Saturday, and that's what a lot of journalists will be doing. So what we'll do is that on election day, we'll go and find our polling station, we vote. I have to travel to my village to go and vote and make a quick dash back to Accra to continue with the work.
Sander further speaks on the pulse of the electorates in the country as the election draws near.
Elections are very important. We do it every 4 years. Ghanaians are very politically conscious. Ghanaians are very political and politically aligned. So we look forward to a lot of activities. There's excitement now. On my way to the office this afternoon, I saw vast loads of party supporters holding their party flag, heading towards these big rallies that the two parties are organizing. So there's a lot of excitement in the air, but there's also fear about possible conflict situations, because in 2020, the last time we had our election, as many as 8 people were killed, and that happened at a coalition ground. So people are still anxious, people are not sure how to handle this. But there's also usually a general peace effort that is put in place. So we have a National Peace Council, which has invited all the political parties and their candidates to sign what we call a peace pact, committing to the election.
On the streets of Accra, citizens are expressing their hopes and concerns, with many calling for issue-based campaigns and a peaceful electoral process.
There are no jobs. Many students graduate from school and are unable to find jobs. I will vote for the party that will help reduce unemployment.
We need a change in government because this government has mismanaged the economy. Things are very tough for people. I will vote for someone who will come and improve the economy.
We just want peace. There should be no violence during this election. People should just vote for their favorite candidate and not fight.
The Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the military, has launched Operation Peace 2024 to maintain order with a focus on ensuring a safe environment for voters. Over in Mali, a court has freed 11 opposition leaders who were arrested in June on charges of plotting against the ruling military after calling for a return to civilian rule. The provisional release on Friday was seen as an attempt to calm the country's political climate following the controversial appointment of General Abdoulaye Maiga as Prime Minister. Mali has been ruled by the military since June to seize power in 2020 and staged another coup the following year. The 11 people were arrested on June 20 at an illegal meeting held during the period when all political party activities were banned. They were accused of plotting against the junta after signing a statement in March calling on the military to relinquish power. Several other political leaders and civil society activists remain imprisoned in Mali, including Issa Ko Njim, former vice president of the National Transitional Council, the legislative body of Mali's transition, and economist Etienne Fakaba Sissoko. Over in Kenyan police have exchanged fire with gangs in Port-au-Prince on Thursday while establishing control of a building in an area of the capital controlled by the Vive and Sam gang led by Jimmy Cherizia, also known as Barbecue. The building, which used to house officers of the Haitian National Police, was evacuated soon after Barbecue's gang took control of the entire neighborhood of Delmas 2 3 years ago. Late November, Kenyan officers of the UN-backed Multinational Security Support Mission, MSS, regained control of the building but remain under constant fire from Vive and Sam gang members who are encroached in Delmas 2 and only a few meters away from the home of the notorious gang leader Cherizé. When Kenyan police arrived in Haiti as part of a UN-backed mission earlier this year to tackle gang violence, hopes were high. However, 400 Kenyan police officers and understaffed police departments lack funding and personnel, with gangs now controlling 85% of the capital. The crisis has only deepened since the international policing contingent arrived. Hundreds of Chadians on Friday staged a rally in N'Djamena to support the government's call to scrap military cooperation with former colonial power France. Up to 500 people carrying placards that read "Bar France" gathered at the Njeri Stadium draped in the country's colors. The demonstration was approved by authorities. Rallies in the streets of the capital were forbidden, although authorities did not prevent small groups from gathering. A first demonstration of hundreds took place on Thursday in the eastern commercial hub of Abeche, according to the Chad Info's public broadcaster. France has about 1,000 troops in its last military foothold in the Sahel. But Chad announced on November 28 a decision to end a defense accord with Paris, mainly dating from independence in 1960. We go over to Sierra Leone, where authorities on Thursday started a nationwide rollout on the single-dose Ebola vaccine, the first such campaign in West Africa, where a deadly outbreak 10 years ago resulted in the death of thousands. The 2014 Ebola outbreak, the deadliest in history, was primarily in West Africa, but affected Sierra Leone the most, with nearly 4,000 deaths out of the more than 11,000 recorded globally. The country also lost 7% of its healthcare workforce to the outbreak. Cynthia Raffel, a health worker in the country, said the people who are most exposed to the disease will be the first to benefit from the vaccination campaign. The nationwide vaccine campaign, implemented by the government in partnership with the Global Vaccine Alliance Gavi, the World Health Organization, and the United Nations Children's Agency, will target 20,000 frontline workers across the country. To ensure the campaign's success, authorities and health officials have called on the country's traditional healers to get communities on board. Now, Lionel Messi was named Major League Soccer's most valuable player on Friday after leading Inter Miami to a record-breaking regular season campaign. The Argentine superstar was handed the accolade after his performances helped Miami to a record regular season points tally, earning the club its first ever Supporters' Shield. The 37-year-old Maestro finished this regular season with a league-leading 36 goal contributions after netting 20 goals and 16 assists. Messi's MVP award comes despite an injury-hit campaign that saw him make only 19 appearances this year. Miami and Messi's season ultimately fizzled out when the team suffered a shock first-round defeat in the MLS Cup playoffs. Messi is the third South American to win the MVP and the fifth from Argentina after Luciano Acosta, Diego Valeri, Guillermo Barros, and Christian Gomez. For more sports news, let's join Emmanuel Fashami.
The National Sports Commission Chairman Malam Shehu Diko has expressed his joy with the recent successes of the Nigerian Squash Federation. The federation has made significant strides since its return from a ban on non-contact sports, with notable feats in the Namibian Squash Open Championship. Ayomide Oladipupo emerged as the champion in the Namibian Open Division A for men, while Gabriel Olufumilayo took home the bronze medal in the BDO tournament. The under-19 age category also made a strong impression, winning several medals and causing upsets in their matches. Malam Shehu Diko assured the vice president and the federation team of moral and financial support, emphasizing the importance of hard work and dedication. He also pointed out the need for effective communication and promotion, stating that sports is all about promotion and that no one will take you seriously if you don't provide what you do to the public. The chairman echoed the commission's commitment to supporting the federation, including exploring opportunities for sponsorship and collaboration with other federations. The NSC chief also encouraged the federation to work closely with the press to project their activities and achievements. The Nigerian Squash Federation has been making giant strides internationally, with Adegoke Obao becoming the first Nigerian to win the PSA Challenger. Kende Samuel also emerged victorious at the University of Victoria, Canada, while Ms. Salome Iye made history as the first female referee from Nigeria to officiate at the British Junior Open. As the federation continues to make strides, the National Sports Commission remains committed to providing support and guidance to help them achieve their goals, including winning Olympic medals in squash. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news, programs, documentaries, do want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. On behalf of the news production team, thank you for joining us. Good night.